What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another theory with your host, as always, K-Mac time. Today we're taking a look at a theory that has just been kind of circling the internet lately, and it's been kind of mind-blowing. So I thought I would make a video for you guys to kind of explain it. Now, it's kind of in-depth, but it makes a lot of sense, and it's actually kind of creepy, and it ties some very popular movie franchises together. Now, of course, the Home Alone series came out over 20 years ago and was wildly popular. It launched Macaulay Culkin into fame and just kind of took off from there. The third one is my personal favorite, but that's a whole other thing. Anyway, getting back into what this theory is about now, if you guys have not noticed by now, there's some definite tie-ins as themes from Kevin from Home Alone and Jigsaw from Saw. Now, this is going to be the origin story. This is going to be a story of how Kevin became Jigsaw, or John Kramer as his alias in those movies, and he's becoming this infamous serial killer and mentor to other serial killers in the movie. Now, I know you're saying to yourself, K-Mac, that is the craziest, dumbest thing I've ever heard, but just hear me out. Look at some of this evidence here. Now, you're going to take a look at some of the things that it does throughout the second movie, which is Lost in New York. Kevin displays an anger issues. He kind of just mad at his brother. There's a scene where his brother orders pizza and doesn't give him all the cheese pizza he wants, and then he goes absolutely crazy on his brother, starts hitting him and yelling. Of course, his bigger brother is much older and bigger, doesn't actually hurt him, but it shows that Kevin has some kind of anger issues deep down inside of him.
Did anyone order me a plain cheese?
Well, yeah, we did. But if you want any, somebody's gonna have to barf it all up, because it's gone.
It also goes on to show in that movie that he has a weird fetish with recorded videos and kind of taping. He has a tape recorder and a video recorder, and he kind of records most of his stuff that he does of these weird voyeuristic tendencies. He likes to watch his victims in a kind of way, and it's kind of a weird thing to kind of put that together with how it works with Saw. Another thing worth pointing out is how Kevin becomes fascinated with his next-door neighbor, Old Man Marley. After learning that Marley is possibly the serial killer known as the South Bend Shovel Slayer, Kevin becomes obsessed with the idea that the old man has imprisoned and mummified his victims, and this could be where he starts to get this darker side to him early on in his childhood. It is also well known that Kevin experiences frequent realistic visual and auditory hallucinations. For example, seeing the furnace in his basement as a ravenous, fiery monster. This is a particular symptom of a psychosis, which would be important to his methodology as a serial killer. So because he sees this crazy looking thing and it just happens to be a furnace, it kind of gives him an inspiration for something a little bit darker. And on top of this, it becomes very, very clear that Kevin's integral home defense mechanisms are almost, in a way, very similar to Jigsaw's murder traps, and it has the same kind of pathological, well thought out, genius kind of tactic, torturous kind of feel to it. And it's also worth pointing out that all of Kevin's home defense devices are triggered by the victim, just as Jigsaw's traps are also triggered by their victims. If you look at it, all of them are taken from this point of view that they have a choice to make, and that they make that choice, they're going to be punished for it. Another similarity between the two are the use of fire. Kevin always seems to be using some form of fire or heat to torture or make his victims pay, and it's very, very similar to another thing you might remember from the second Saw movie.
Thank you, Bobby. Come on.
Oh shit! The fucking door! Open the door! Open the door!
And this is not where the similarities between the two end. There's also a part in Home Alone where he uses broken glass from Christmas ornaments to cut their feet. And you guys see in the Saw series the same type of things happening. He puts broken glass all over the floor and makes them walk on it. Another thing that happens is when Kevin covers the entire basement staircase with nails, causing Marv to hurt his foot. This could very well be the embryonic state of something that happens later in the Saw movies when they come to his actual house of residence and he traps the SWAT team with this staircase that falls through and blades them and is also electrified. This could be a farther on version of this. So what at first glance seems like just an innocent, mischievous child's justified defense of his own life could actually be a cold-calculated, cold-blooded attempt at a double homicide. There was even a study done in 2012 by Dr. Ryan Sinclair of the William Cornell Medical College, where he was asked to assess the injuries that would have occurred to Harry and Marv through all of these traps. And what he found was that most of these would have been, very, very, very painful, and sometimes even deadly. Like the brick, for instance, would have definitely killed poor Marv. He got hit in the head with a brick from a third story 3 times in a row. Definitely would have been enough to kill him. So most of these incidents would have been enough to kill most human beings, if not, at least paralyze or maim them in some way. A lot of these falls, a lot of these tricks were enough to kill a human being. Now, as if all of that evidence wasn't enough, take a look at the actual characters themselves. Look at how they would have progressed. On the left is always Kevin, and on the right always is Jigsaw, and in between is Macaulay Culkin in real life, in his middle to late 20s, I believe. But look at their blonde hair, their blue eyes, all of that stuff, the jawline, their smile, all kind of looks very similar. You could very well see how this character could become one of the other. They look a lot alike, and that's a very, very convincing piece of evidence in my mind. And finally, our last piece of evidence here is that there's this creepy clown doll in Kevin's basement in his house in his childhood. This could have been the inspiration for the infamous doll from the Saw series, a very, very creepy one with the laugh and the weird voice. Just so creepy. But anyway, that's all there is to this theory, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys want to check out some more interesting conspiracy theories, make sure you guys hit up my buddy's channel, which is All Time Conspiracies. They have some of the greatest conspiracy theories on the entire internet. I'll make sure to drop a link to that in the description. I'm sure they have lots of stuff going on. They have a very similar video to this coming out the same day as this one is, so make sure you guys please go over to their channel, subscribe, check out their videos. You will not be disappointed. Also, if you guys could leave a like rating on this video, it would be very much appreciated. It helps my channel out so much when you guys like and share these videos. And you guys can feel free to subscribe to my channel too if you're new around here. As always, guys, remember that's K-Mac time somewhere, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, take it easy and peace out.
Child's Play was raised in court as an influence on the boy's actions, as there was a scene in the film where one of Chucky's victims is covered in blue paint, as young James Bulger similarly suffered. In the face of such a senseless act of horror committed by 2 children, the film's influence provided an explanation. Many associate Bulger's murder with the censorship of video nasties in Great Britain from 1984 until the turn of the century. 20 years before Bulger's murder, Stanley Kubrick withdrew A Clockwork Orange from British distribution after a series of murders, rapes, and violent attacks occurred that directly mirrored events in the film.